Pause! Welcome to the 12 Days of Sickness. My name is Chance with the Seer Club. I want to give you all a warning before you jump into this video. The 12 Days of Sickness is a seasonal thing. This channel has no intention of being an educational channel, and we are no professional. So enjoy, but be aware of that. If you like our vibes and our personality, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's get back into your video. Peace. Hello, welcome to another Seer Club video. My name is Chance, and I will be guiding you through a little Meet the Alters type of thing. I want to give you a quick warning before we jump right into it, and that is all the photos you see are not going to be 100% accurate. They're like actual people out here, so they're not going to look exactly like us. The text will also show who drew the art and the percentage of accuracy, and possibly even the time they were drawn, like from when we knew we were a system to now. So keep that in mind and keep that information in your head while we're walking through this. We're first going to start off with what we like to call the fairy family. These are 4 alters in our system who are all fairies, and we're going to start off with the mother of this group, Alpha. She is an internal gatekeeper in our system. She keeps things in line, and a lot of the time she is the one that keeps track of alters who are not commonly known by us main 4 who watch over most of the system. She first was introduced to our system around the beginning of when we started finding out that we were a system. And she is very, very vague and very creepy. She'll just appear out of the dark, list things or say things to us, and then just disappear. She has the seer eye on her forehead, and in a world she can see the future, and for our system she can kind of see based on the subconscious of where our system is heading, and she can oftentimes give us a warning of when things are going to be a little rough ahead or a little easier ahead, which is very helpful if she didn't do it in such a creepy way. So we love Alpha, but also we're kind of terrified of her. She never says anything unless it's absolutely certain, and she doesn't speak much. She is currently married to another person in our system whose name is Omega. Now, they may look like they have like a big age gap, but fairies age based on trauma and also experience in life and how they feel mentally. So Omega looks older, but he's actually younger than Alpha. Omega is a protector and a trauma holder. He is very quiet and very non-talkative. He does not speak a whole lot of English. He actually speaks a language that we made up as a child that we call fairy. And he has an accent with it, and it's one of the reasons he doesn't speak much is because it sounds very similar to a Russian accent, and so a lot of people think that we're like making up a little Russian accent. It is actually not that uncommon for someone to have that, and we're going to talk about another alter a little later in this video who has the same accent. Next, we're going to go on to Beta, who is kind of like the son of Alpha and Omega, but like not actually their son. Beta is a mini protector, and when we first met Beta, it was not something like Alpha. If you're unaware of what a mini protector is, we did make a video about alter roles and stuff like that, and a mini protector is basically a persecutor. When we first met our partner, we had a really good relationship starting to build, and in fact our partner was one of the first people who ever noticed we were a system, and he's the one that told us we were an overt system, and he doesn't know how people didn't know we were a system. But when he first met Beta, Beta had tried to push him away by saying mean words and basically being like, I don't like you, get away from me. And our partner at the time, we would like appear home and he would text us asking if we were mad or stuff like that, and eventually he told us that someone came out in our system and was mean. And so it took a while to find Beta and meet Beta, but thanks to Alpha and Omega's help, we were able to find him and kind of talk to him. He's still on a journey to becoming a full protector, but he mainly works with someone in our system called Jonah. We don't have much art of Jonah, but both Beta and Jonah are 16 respectively, and Jonah is a suicidal alter of ours, and Beta basically was created to bully him out of committing suicide. And so Beta kind of is learning how to help Jonah now not be suicidal in a more productive way instead of making Jonah feel worse about himself. So their relationship is improving. Next in the fairy fam is a cousin of the fairy fam called the Deltas. The Deltas have merged into one person, but they are apparently normal parts in our system who focus on being out during dates. They're very flirtatious, they're very kind, they're very fun, and so those two kind of have their own style and sense, but they have merged into one person, though they do say that they can still hear each other. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm not in their head, but I am. But I typically only hear one voice coming out of them. But they do prefer they, them pronouns. Next, we're going to move on to someone in our system that their connections to the Deltas is that the Deltas love to go to his concerts. This is Deli. He is someone that kind of we found not through Alpha. He is a mini protector in our system who has become a full protector at this point, but he is very confrontational, very revolutionary, and very alternative if you can't tell from his drawing of himself. He is a very key part of our system and works very well at communicating how we feel to someone, and he's getting better and better each time that he's had to tell people something he's upset about, to not just yell and scream and get really angry and push people away. So Deli is a witch in our world, and he is a healing witch, and his family basically came up being revolutionaries, being people who would stand up to wrong and war and stuff like that. His parents never went to war, nor have they really been much of revolutionaries, but his grandfather is. And Deli's full name comes from his grandfather. His grandfather actually does like him a lot. Though Deli doesn't really want to be a part of his family, he does participate in a current war that's happening in our world to free slavery in a different country. And he is a very strong advocate and a very good healer. Next, we have Eddie, or Edward Knight. Edward Knight is someone who's been in our system for a very, very long time. The most key defining feature of him is that he is the moon. And what I mean by that, it's not he's a god or anything like that. He is literally, his soul is the moon, and he is a king of a certain specific part of our world. What he does for our system is he is an escapism person who is strong, and he basically, we're not sure when he was created, but we kind of know how he could have been created, and that is, we used to tell ourselves stories before we went to bed. Our system is a storyteller. That's part of our base personality, and so he was the person who helped us through a lot. He is the second person we got really, really obsessed with building a story for and a world for. He is strong, he is independent, and he is often put in this box. When you think of the moon, you think of someone who is refined and delicate and innocent and Eddie breaks that box to move out further from that and to be his own individual and break those expectations of being delicate and nice. And he does that for our system as well. Of when people have a certain, like, perception of us, he breaks that. Next, we have one of Eddie's best friends, and that is Damon. Damon in our system is the father of our system, basically. He is the fatherly figure that helps our system out and helps us realize things and gather things, and also he does that for people outside as well. He very, very much is one of those people who is wise and kind. He is also the person that I mentioned earlier who has a fairy accent. He is not just a fairy, he is basically a king of fairies, known as a fairy tree. He is this wise, old, guardian type man, despite his looks. Equivalently to fairy trees, he is about 21. But he is one of the people like Eddie that, after Eddie, he was our next victim, I guess, of that storytelling trend. And he had a very hard, difficult life, but now he helps people who are in that same position. When we have someone in our system who's struggling or having a hard time, he often takes them under his wing so that they don't have to experience what he's had to experience. Now, he is often a closed book and doesn't like to share his experiences out here with us. He wants those experiences to be basically protected from us. So I consider him not only just internal help or just a caretaker, I also consider him a protector. Next, we have Rachel, who is, much like Damien, the mother of our system. She is mainly internal. She can only front for, I think the max she's ever fronted is 30 minutes before she gets pulled back in. She has a lot of tasks that she helps with, like cleaning and leaving passive-aggressive notes to us about how we need to clean. But also she takes care of the littles and protecting the littles and making the littles feel safe enough. Even when they're fronting out here, she'll be nearby to make them feel safe enough to play, to color, to be children. She is a very integral part of our system. And she is an elf, as you can see, so she is very prim and proper and doing stuff like that. Our earliest memory of Rachel is actually when we were kids. We used to swear up and down that our preschool that we went to had a round rug that had like the alphabet on it and a bunch of animals, and that she would ask us to sit on our individual spots. And looking back at it, I remember seeing like Bree there and Ed there and my brother Jared there, and you know, even a little in our system who is still a little to this day. She would tell us stories when bad things were happening. And so she's been there for a very long time as well. And we all say thank you, Rachel, because she really, really is like the mom you can go to tell her anything and she will help you, though she may judge you a little bit just like a real mom would. So that's all I have for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe, and let us know your opinions in the comments, I guess. And I'll see you next time. Good night.